Hey ICANN students, this is a quick tutorial on how to set up CrowdRender, the plugin into Blender 2.79. I'm sure the version for 2.8 will be available pretty soon. So basically you need to go to the user preference menu, your own add-ons, you select install add-ons from file, down smack, go to where it's located, you downloaded it probably to your downloads folder. That's the add-on for CrowdRender CR. Install add-on from file. The next step is to enable it by checking this box. So now the checkbox, it's good. If you want this to be enabled every time you restart Blender, you need to save your user settings. If you don't, it will be unchecked and then all your servers that you add will be gone. So do click on save. Next step is to go to the lower right hand side corner of your screen. Down there, CrowdRender just arrived or came up. You need to start it. And then you need to add a node. The node should be, well, this is a bit narrow. Let's widen it a bit so you see what the buttons are for. So add a node. It's called new node by default. You should give it a name, something like Render Station 1 is the big one right now. And if you want to know what its IP address is, you might want to just check out, where is it at? Downloads. Check out this screenshot. We got all the IP addresses in there. I don't know why it's not on image click default. So there's RS1's on, it's always 192.168.1, and then just the last number or set of numbers changes. So 151 is for RS1. So if I go back to my Blender installation, I want to connect. The button to connect is this one. That's to resync, that's to remove. So connect, and then after a few seconds I should get a window where I can enter the IP address of my node that I know exists on the current network. You can't just make stuff up. If they don't exist, you won't get anything. Oh, and by the way, the computer has to be on and Blender running for this to work, so don't try this at lunch or in the morning if you don't know what's going on. So now I connected, it says it's synced, and this is all good signs. I can go check the settings. This one should be on CPU. You see, you've got settings for CPU, CUDA, OpenCL. This one's a CPU only. It's an 8 processor server with Xeon server processors and 32 gigs of RAM, so it should be able to crunch rendering scenes pretty quickly. I just added one, so if I want to add another, I would drag this down to see where it's going to go. Add. I'm going to call it doesn't have to be the same name as on the screen capture I got, so M1 for Mac Mini 1 or whatever. Connect again. While I'm waiting for that to happen, I can go remember what it's 235, so we'll add the IP address. So like this. If you make a typo, of course it won't work. After a few seconds, it will reconnect to the first one you entered and then the second one and so on. So third, fourth, 5, 6. And when everything goes well, you should get a ready view like this, sync. Perfect. So now if you were to render a scene, it would work. And you can't render from the built-in cycles or Blender render at the top. This is going to do it locally on your machine. You want to use CrowdRender, so you have to scroll down, and this is where CrowdRender starts, this tab. So you see it's closed. I open it, I can click on render a still or render an animation, and it's going to do its thing. It takes a few renders before it knows exactly how much to send to each node, depending on how fast those nodes are at rendering. And then it's going to try, and with an algorithm, it's going to try to make your render time as low as possible, as short as possible, so that you don't wait for hours for your renders to complete. And that's that. You just keep adding the other M's and Macs with the IP addresses provided here. This will be in the post I put it in Modo. Cool.